It was a quiet afternoon when Mia, the blue-haired rebel, decided to slip away from her grandmother's house. She had spent the morning arguing with her mother about her rebellious ways, and she was feeling restless. Grandma's garden was her secret escape, the one place where Mia could forget about her problems and lose herself in nature. The sun was high in the sky, casting long shadows over the garden. The plants and flowers swayed gently in the wind, and the scent of fresh soil filled the air. Mia walked down the familiar dirt path, her sneakers crunching on the gravel. She loved this place. It was peaceful, far from the chaos that often followed her in her daily life. But today was different. As Mia wandered deeper into the garden, something caught her eye. Behind the large oak tree at the far end of the garden, she noticed a faint glow. She stopped in her tracks, unsure of what she was seeing. The light was soft, almost like a whisper, but it drew her in. Her heart raced as she stepped closer, her curiosity getting the better of her. When she reached the oak tree, Mia's breath caught in her throat. There, nestled between the thick roots, was something she had never seen before: a ship. It wasn't like any ship she had ever imagined. It wasn't a plane or a boat or anything that belonged to Earth. It was small, sleek, and metallic, with smooth curves that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. The ship was glowing faintly, as if it was alive, and there was a strange hum in the air around it. Mia knelt down to get a better look, her eyes wide with disbelief. How could this be here? Grandma had always told her stories of strange things happening around the house, but Mia had never believed them. She thought they were just old fairy tales. But now, standing before this mysterious object, she wasn't so sure. She reached out to touch it, her fingers brushing against the cool surface. The moment her skin made contact with the ship, a shock of electricity ran through her hand, making her gasp. The ship's glow grew brighter, and the hum became louder, almost like a voice calling to her. Mia stepped back, startled. Her mind raced. Was this some kind of joke? Was it a trick? But no, this wasn't a joke. The ship wasn't a toy, and it wasn't something her grandmother had built. It was real, and it was here for a reason. As Mia stood there, frozen in awe, a soft blue light flickered on the side of the ship. She leaned in closer, her curiosity now pushing her forward. A small panel opened, revealing a glowing symbol. It was intricate, like a map or some kind of code. Mia's heart skipped a beat as she stared at the symbol, trying to make sense of it. The symbol seemed to pulse, almost as if it was alive. Suddenly, without warning, a voice echoed in her mind. It wasn't a voice she could hear with her ears, but one that seemed to come from deep within her. The words were clear, though they sent a shiver down her spine. You are needed. Mia pulled her hand back, her heart racing. Her mind was spinning, trying to process what had just happened. A ship, a voice, a message. Everything was happening too quickly, and yet it felt like the most important thing in the world. She glanced around the garden, half expecting her grandmother to appear and explain what was going on. But the garden was still, silent. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that this was no accident. The ship hadn't appeared here by chance. It was waiting for her. She felt it deep in her bones. But why? Why her? She took a deep breath, gathering her courage. She couldn't just walk away. She had to know what this was all about. There had to be a reason why the ship had come to her, and she was determined to find out. With a final glance at the glowing ship, Mia made up her mind. She would stay. She would learn what this ship wanted. As the afternoon sun began to set, casting an eerie glow across the garden, Mia stepped closer to the ship again. She had no idea what was about to happen, but one thing was certain: her life was about to change forever. Mia stood in front of the glowing ship, her heart pounding in her chest. The words she had heard in her mind, "You are needed," echoed over and over again. She couldn't shake the feeling that the ship was more than just an object. It was alive, and it was waiting for her. But for what? What could this strange alien ship possibly want with her? She glanced around the garden once more, hoping to find some sort of clue, but everything seemed normal. The roses bloomed as usual, and the wind rustled through the leaves of the oak tree. Yet nothing felt ordinary anymore. The ship before her pulsed with an energy she couldn't explain. It was as if it was calling her, urging her to step closer, to understand. Taking a deep breath, Mia slowly approached the ship. The soft hum grew louder, vibrating through the air. As she reached the ship, she noticed something different. Small, glowing symbol on the side, one she hadn't seen before. It was intricate, almost like a map of stars, or perhaps a message hidden in plain sight. Her fingers brushed against it, and the moment she did, the world around her seemed to blur. Suddenly, the ship responded. A beam of bright blue light shot out from the symbol, surrounding Mia in a soft, shimmering glow. She gasped and stumbled back, but the light didn't hurt. It was gentle, almost comforting, like it was wrapping around her to protect her. The voice she had heard earlier returned, but this time it was clearer, sharper, and it seemed to speak directly to her. "You are the chosen one. You are the one we have been waiting for. The time has come." Mia's legs wobbled as she tried to process the words. Chosen. What did that mean? And what time? Her mind raced, and 1,000 questions flooded her thoughts. She turned to the ship, the strange symbol still glowing brightly. Was it really speaking to her? Was this some kind of strange dream? She swallowed hard, trying to steady herself. "What do you want from me?" she whispered aloud, her voice shaky. To her surprise, the ship responded. The panel on its side slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a small, holographic screen. The screen flickered to life, showing a star map with planets she didn't recognize. As Mia stared at the map, the ship's voice spoke again, its tone soft yet urgent. "We need you to return to your home. The people are waiting. You cannot stay here. You belong with us." Mia's mind spun. Home. What did it mean by home? She had always felt different from everyone else. Was this what it had been all about? The strange feelings of loneliness, the sense that she didn't quite belong. Had she known all along that something was missing from her life? The ship's voice continued, its words calm yet filled with a sense of purpose. "You are one of us. Your people need you. The time has come for you to embrace who you truly are." Her heart skipped a beat. She stepped back, shaking her head in disbelief. "No," she whispered. "This can't be real." But as the ship's glow seemed to brighten, Mia couldn't deny the truth. There was something inside her, something she hadn't fully understood until now that recognized this message, this call. It felt like it was meant for her. She had always felt like an outsider, but maybe there was more to her than she had ever imagined. The holographic screen shifted, and this time the ship displayed an image of a beautiful, unfamiliar world, a place filled with shining cities and vast landscapes. It looked like nothing on Earth. Mia felt a pull in her chest, a longing to see this place, to be a part of it. As the image faded, the ship's voice grew softer. "Your destiny awaits. You must choose." Mia's mind was a whirlwind of confusion, fear, and wonder. She wanted to run away, to deny what was happening, but deep down, She knew she couldn't ignore it any longer. This was real. The ship was real. And whatever awaited her on the other side was her true destiny. But how could she leave everything she had ever known? Her grandmother, her home, her life on Earth. Mia felt torn in two, caught between a world she had always known and one she couldn't yet understand. As the blue light faded and the ship fell silent, Mia stood there, frozen. The choice was hers to make. Stay and live the life she had always known, or follow the call to the unknown and embrace the truth about who she really was. The garden around her seemed to hold its breath, waiting for her decision. The wind stopped rustling through the trees. Time seemed to stand still. Mia knew she had to make a choice, and she had to make it soon. Mia's mind raced as she stood there, frozen in the garden, the ship's glowing lights slowly fading. The choice before her felt enormous, like a door to an unknown world she wasn't sure she was ready to walk through. How could she decide? Everything she had known in her life felt suddenly insignificant compared to the mystery of what lay beyond the ship. But before she could even process what she was feeling, the sound of footsteps behind her broke the silence. Mia turned quickly, her heart jumping into her throat. There, standing at the edge of the garden, was her grandmother. "Grandma," Mia gasped, half relieved, half panicked. "What is this? What's going on?" Her grandmother's face was calm, but there was a knowing look in her eyes, as if she had expected this moment all along. She stepped forward slowly, her gaze fixed on the ship. Mia felt a shiver of unease run down her spine. Why didn't Grandma seem shocked? "Mia," her grandmother said softly, her voice full of quiet authority. "I've been waiting for you to discover the truth." Mia's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. "What do you mean? What's happening here? Why didn't you tell me about the ship? About ... all of this?" Grandma paused, a faint smile on her lips, but her eyes looked distant, as if she was remembering something long buried. She walked toward the ship, her hand brushing against its smooth surface. "I couldn't tell you everything, Mia. You weren't ready. Not until now." Mia felt a surge of frustration. Not ready for what? She demanded. "To know that I'm not from here, that I belong somewhere else." Grandma's expression softened, and she placed a hand gently on Mia's shoulder. "It's true, you are not from Earth, Mia. You've always known, deep down, that you were different. And now the time has come for you to go home." The words hit Mia like a cold wave. "Home," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Where is that? I don't understand." Her grandmother's eyes shone with a mixture of sadness and pride. "Your real home is far from here. You were sent to Earth many years ago as a protector. Your people, Mia, are waiting. For you, the ship has come to bring you back, to fulfill your destiny." Mia's thoughts spun in a blur. I don't believe you. This can't be true. I've spent my whole life here. I've had friends, a family. Why would I leave all of that? What kind of life am I supposed to have out there?" Her grandmother sighed, her expression soft but resolute. "I understand, but the truth is, you were always meant for something more. Your life here on Earth was only a small part of your journey, the world you come from. It's a place of power, a place where you are needed." Mia shook her head. "Power? What are you talking about?" "Mia," Grandma said gently, "you are a descendant of an ancient line of protectors. Your people have watched over the galaxy for centuries, guarding worlds from destruction. But now, the time has come for you to take your place among them. You have the strength, the ability, and the heart to lead. Your journey as a human on Earth was just a preparation. Now you must answer the call. Mia took a step back, trying to make sense of the overwhelming truth her grandmother was revealing. The ship, the message, it was all coming together in a way she couldn't deny. But at the same time, she couldn't imagine leaving everything she knew. The thought of saying goodbye to her friends, her life on Earth, it all felt impossible. What will happen if I don't go? Mia asked quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. Her grandmother's eyes darkened. If you don't go, you'll be abandoning your people, Mia. There are forces out there that are already threatening your home. If you don't return now, everything you've known, everything you care about, could be in danger. Mia felt a chill run through her. The weight of the decision pressed down on her chest, making it hard to breathe. But I don't even know who I am. How can I lead? How can I just leave everything behind? Her grandmother stepped closer, taking her hands in hers. You've always known, Mia. The strength has always been inside you. You have a power you can't even begin to understand yet, but you will, and you'll need it, for your people. For the galaxy. Mia looked at the ship, its soft blue glow now almost comforting. She had never felt more confused in her life. But deep down, something inside her stirred, something old, something familiar. The ship was calling to her. Her people were waiting, and whether she was ready or not, the time had come. Grandma, Mia whispered, her voice full of uncertainty. What if I'm not strong enough? What if I fail? Her grandmother smiled, a knowing glint in her eyes. You won't fail, Mia. You were born for this. Trust yourself. Mia took a long, deep breath. For the first time in her life, she felt a surge of something new, something powerful. She had a choice to make. Stay on Earth and continue living a life that felt incomplete, or step into the unknown and discover who she really was. Her destiny was calling her, and Mia knew that there was no turning back. The garden was silent, save for the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. Mia stood there, feeling as if the weight of the world was pressing down on her shoulders. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. You are a protector. Your people need you. The time has come. But how could she leave? How could she abandon everything she had known for a life that was so foreign, so different from what she had always imagined? Her friends, her life on Earth, everything she'd built, it felt like it was slipping through her fingers, disappearing in the face of this unknown future. Mia glanced at the ship, its glowing form standing still in the shadows of the oak tree. It was waiting for her. She knew that. The ship wasn't just a means of transportation. It was a bridge to her true self, a doorway to a world that was meant to be hers. And yet, it felt so impossible to cross that threshold. Grandma, Mia said, her voice barely a whisper, what if I don't fit in? What if I can't do what they expect of me? What if I'm not the leader they think I am? Her grandmother's eyes softened, and she stepped closer. Mia, you've been doubting yourself for so long, but you've never been alone in this. You've always had the strength inside you. The power you need is not just something you learn, it's something you already are. You were born with it, and you'll find it when you need it most. But what if... Mia trailed off, unsure of how to voice the deep fear that was gnawing at her. What if I can't protect them? What if I fail? Her grandmother placed a hand on her shoulder, the weight of the gesture grounding Mia. Mia, true strength is not in never failing, it's in rising after every fall. And remember, you don't have to face it alone. Your people are not expecting perfection. They are expecting you to lead with courage, with heart, and you have both in abundance. Mia looked back at the ship, its soft glow beckoning her, urging her to step forward. The image of her true home, the one the ship had shown her, flashed. In her mind shimmering cities, vast skies, endless possibilities. But the thought of leaving her life on Earth, the people she loved, the only world she knew, it felt like she was being torn in two directions. She walked toward the ship, her feet feeling heavy with the weight of her decision. The voice inside her head whispered again, "You are needed." But this time, Mia wasn't sure if it was the ship speaking or if it was something inside herself. She stood in front of the ship, her fingers hovering over the glowing surface. The hum was louder now, almost vibrating in her bones. She knew the ship was waiting for her to make a choice, but the choice wasn't as simple as leaving or staying. The real decision was whether she could embrace her destiny and trust herself. "Mia," her grandmother said softly from behind her, "there is no perfect moment, no perfect answer. You will never feel fully ready. That's how it is with great challenges, but this is your moment. The path is open. It's up to you whether you walk it." Mia closed her eyes for a moment, trying to block out the fear that threatened to overwhelm her. She thought of everything she had here, friends she had made, the familiar streets of her town, the comfort of Earth, but she also thought of the world beyond, a place that called to her, a place where she could finally understand who she truly was. Slowly she raised her hand, the cool metal of the ship's surface under her fingertips. The ship pulsed once more, as if responding to her touch. A faint blue light wrapped around her hand, and in that moment, something inside her clicked. It wasn't the light of the ship. It was her own power, her own strength. Awakening. With a deep breath, Mia turned back to her grandmother. "I'm ready," she whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. Her grandmother smiled, the pride in her eyes undeniable. "I knew you would be." As Mia stepped closer to the ship, the world around her seemed to shift. The garden, the Earth she had always known, faded into the background. The future, unknown and filled with promise, opened up before her. She could feel the connection now, the connection to her people, to her true home. The ship's door opened with a soft hiss, and a cool breeze swept out from within. Mia's heart raced. The time had come. Mia, her grandmother, called one last time. "Remember, you are not just a protector. You are the future of your people, and they are waiting for you." With those words echoing in her ears, Mia took her first step into the ship. The door closed behind her, and the ship began to hum with energy. Lifting off the ground as the garden below grew smaller, Mia looked out the window of the ship, her eyes filled with determination. She wasn't just leaving Earth, she was stepping into her destiny. And no matter what awaited her on the other side, Mia knew one thing for certain. She was no longer afraid. She was ready. The ship soared higher, its engines purring with an almost silent hum. As Mia gazed out the window at the shrinking garden below, the familiar landscape of her grandmother's house, the trees, and the quiet streets were quickly becoming distant memories. She had made her choice, and now there was no turning back. But as the ship ascended, a feeling of unease settled over Mia. The thrill of embarking on an adventure, of discovering her true identity, was quickly overshadowed by the nagging sensation that something wasn't right. She glanced over her shoulder, the dimly lit interior of the ship flickering with strange, alien symbols. The controls were unfamiliar, but the ship seemed to know what it was doing, guiding her with gentle precision. A small console in front of her lit up, and the soft voice from earlier filled the cabin again. Destination, Proxima. Preparing for warp jump. Mia frowned. Proxima. She had never heard of such a place. It wasn't the planet her grandmother had described, nor was it the one the ship's holographic map had shown. Confusion bubbled inside her. Where is Proxima? She whispered to herself, hoping for an answer that never came. Before she could process more, the ship began to shake. A low rumble vibrated through the walls, and lights flickered above her. The calm hum of the engines morphed into a deep, unsettling roar. Suddenly, a new voice, one that wasn't the soft, guiding tone from before, boomed through the ship's speakers, cutting through the tension. Warning, unauthorized presence detected. Initiating countermeasures. Mia's heart skipped a beat. Unauthorized presence? She looked around, panic rising in her chest. Who else was on board? She was the only one there, wasn't she? The ship's control panel blinked red, and before she could react, a surge of energy blasted from the walls, sending a shockwave through the cabin. Mia screamed, gripping the sides of her seat as the ship veered violently to the left, nearly throwing her from her seat. She could hear a low mechanical worry sound growing, louder, as if something was moving within the walls of the ship. Something alive. Mia, the voice from the ship said, this time much colder. We have been compromised. You must return immediately. The enemy is closer than we thought. Before Mia could even process this warning, the ship's windows lit up with an explosion of bright colors, as if the stars themselves were warping and stretching into bizarre shapes. The ship's engines roared louder, and Mia could feel the pressure building within her chest. The warp drive was activating. But why? The voice continued, now almost frantic. We cannot risk your exposure. The mission must be completed. Returning to Earth is now impossible. Mia's eyes widened. Her stomach dropped. Returning to Earth is impossible. What was happening? The ship was supposed to take her home, to her true people, but now it was talking about returning to Earth, as if something had changed. Suddenly, the ship jolted, and a blinding flash of white light enveloped the cabin. The world outside the windows seemed to shatter, and Mia felt herself being pulled through a swirling vortex. In that moment, she understood. This wasn't just a journey to her home planet. It was something far more dangerous. The ship had brought her on this path, yes, but there were others out there who wanted to stop her. As the light faded, Mia found herself staring out into the vast emptiness of space. A new planet appeared before her, a dark, foreboding world covered in clouds and strange, glowing lights. It wasn't the home she had imagined. This wasn't Proxima. The ship slowed as it approached the dark planet, its engines worried down to a low hum. A chill ran down Mia's spine as she realized something terrible. They were not just after her. The enemy, whoever they were, had been hunting her for far longer than she could imagine. And now they had found her. The voice spoke again, though this time it was different. Prepare yourself, Mia. The trials will begin. Only those worthy will survive. Mia's pulse quickened as the ship prepared to land. She wasn't ready. She hadn't even understood what she was being called to do. How could she fight against an enemy she didn't even know? The truth was, she wasn't just a protector, she was the key. The key to something much bigger, something that the enemy would stop at nothing to control. As the ship touched down on the dark planet's surface, Mia braced herself for what was to come. She had hoped that this journey would reveal the truth, give her the answers she had always wanted. But now, with the sudden twist of fate, Mia realized that her adventure was only just beginning. The true test of her strength was about to unfold. She had to be ready. She had to survive. For her, people, and for herself.